Hi, I'm Peter Knight, and today I want to talk about the role of the right arm during the swing. When the club swings back and through, I'll often get asked, should I keep my right arm straight? Should I bend it? Should I tuck it in? And the answer to, well, all of those questions anyway is no. If I'm making any sort of striking or throwing action, then say if it's a throw with my arm will swing back, it's bent. As I'm going through, eventually my arm will become straight. Now, through the movement, my arm is straightening all of the time, but it's more a response to the movement that I'm making. And it's exactly the same in the golf swing. So from this view here, when I get to the top of my swing, let's say my right elbow and my right wrist are bent at a 90-degree angle. As the club's approaching the ball, my elbow and my wrist are straightening out, but at impact, my elbow's still bent and my wrist is still bent, and they don't become straight until maybe about here after impact. But I've made no attempt to either hold them bent, nor have I made any attempt to straighten my elbow. My elbow straightens because it moves away from my right shoulder. So when the club swings back and through, my elbow's folding, my wrist is folding. As I'm turning back toward the target, they'll be straightening out. But there's no attempt, as I said, to try and force them straight, nor is there any attempt to hold them bent. That's the first thing, is just to get the sense of the fold and straighten without any tension in the arm or any held tension, holding it bent or trying to straighten it. If we look from this view here, we can look at how the right arm's movement influences the path of the club. So as the club's approaching the ball, if I'm looking to hit a ball along this line here where the alignment rod is, as the club's approaching the ball, the bottom of my shaft is pointing to an imaginary line running between the ball and the target. So I get to here and the bottom of the shaft is pointed to an imaginary line here. As I'm approaching the ball, it's pointed to it here. So the club is not traveling in a straight path, it's actually traveling in an arced path, a curved path. After impact, the bottom of the shaft is pointed to the rod here and it points to it here. So that's the path that I want my shaft to follow. Now the easiest way to influence that is for my right forearm to move correctly. So when I get to say about this point in my swing here, from where you're looking with the camera there, an extension of my right forearm appears to be pointed straight down to that line there. And as I move forward, my right forearm like traces a line along this line here. So that as the club's approaching the ball, both my forearm, which is pointed to the line down about here somewhere, and the shaft of the club, which is pointed to the line here, they're both pointed to the line at different points as I swing down and through. It's a bit like me holding the club here and moving my forearm back and through in the same line, my forearm and the shaft. But the difference is I'm tilted over here. Now, of course, that's not going to occur when my arm's up here, but from about this point here, down and through, my arm should point or trace a line along that line. Let's have a look and see how well it works with the ball. That's going to be too fast for you to see, but you'll see the blur of my arm and the blur of the path of the club, and they're going to be following a pretty correct path. So key things with the right arm: don't tuck it in, don't hold it tight, don't try and force it to do any sort of movement. It's going to fold and straighten correctly. The second thing is that when it swings back and through, the arm traces a line along your target line here through the bottom part of the swing, and that'll make it easier for the club to follow it. Work on a couple of those checkpoints there with different clubs. Start with short shots, short swings, and then build up the range of the movement, build up the pace of the movement, and you'll find you'll have a lot better control over the path of your club.